There it is. For some reason, my camera didn't want to work tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Midwest Dungeon Delvers. Tonight, we are continuing our tabletop RPG programming, the Six Sword Saga this season. Source code, our second episode, Othmere's Trouble. Let's find out what trouble the party will get into in tonight's episode.
Good evening. This is Lyris Dane reporting on behalf of the COS as we witness yet another harrowing chapter in humanity's relentless pursuit of forbidden innovation in the year 2525. In what has been dubbed the Six Sword Saga incident, 6 carefully chosen individuals from the Maxwell Federation's latest VR experiment were thrust into the full immersion simulation known as the Six Sword Saga, a digital realm where the lines between myth and machine blur. What began as a promising trial for the next generation of escapism quickly spiraled into an unsolvable tragedy. Our sources confirm that the participants heralded as pioneers of this radical technology have become permanently entrapped within the simulation.
All right. Can I get a quick mic check from everybody?
Check, mic check.
Check, Mike.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Let's get started. When last we left our band of adventurers, they are in the city of Othmere, kind of a offshoot on the outskirts of the Maki Vale. Stilt Skin, storyteller, thank you for stopping in, even though he couldn't be here in person. Aldrich is elsewhere doing other things for today's session. The party were enjoying some time in Othmere, and then a new individual showed up, Jin from the Vendinari, a race of gray-skinned elves from the Riftlands. A Riftland incursion had happened in the Session 0, leading to the summoning and showing up of our good individual Jin. Justicar, being the individual to greet him, rather sternly, yet not cold in a sense. It wasn't the worst of welcomes, but it wasn't, without its hiccups. A couple of other individuals had followed Justicar, one by the name of Owen, and one by the name of Aldrich, a halfling investigator. A decision about Jin's safety being from the Riftlands, and many people are trepidatious of their denizens in the Maki Vale. The party decided to take Jin with them to keep him safe, as well as get answers to what had just transpired. The party made their way to the magistrate of Othmere, Thalen Morwind. In the foyer, they met the secretary to the magistrate, who went and got the magistrate. While they were getting the magistrate, the party snooped around a little bit, Aldrich discovering a secret wall in a small bag of 120 shin, which are the silver coins in the universe of the Six Sword Saga. The party also discovered several documents as to Riftland incursions, and even perhaps the presence of a chimeric echo amidst the Opaline Ward, the guards of the Maki Vale, sent out by the king and queen in Lucio. Now, after a tense meeting with the magistrate, in which the party tempted to see whether or not the magistrate would overreact to his gold, or not his gold, his shin being appropriated and investigated, and noses snooping around where he may not like them. He acted in kind, and even though he acquiesced to the Justicar perusing through Othmere to see anything that he may help with, or perhaps bring justice to, the magistrate, very upset, said, "No, you're not going to get the full help of the office, but you are welcome to poke around. I'm busy." The party then went to the tavern, the Salty Anchor, where they imbibed some beverages, some food, hearty conversation, good music and atmosphere, and just a fun time for all of them. Jen had went upstairs to kind of try and reconnect with these memories of past lives and spirits within him, and Justicar had just left that room, leaving Jin in his privacy. Now, our camera does not stay with Jin, however. No, it kind of fades to black and then reappears with a golden sunrise sweeping through a dusty window pane. Dust dances through the air, catching the warmth as a kettle hisses gently. Fire cackles low in the hearth. The smell of yeast, herbs, and ash lingers in the air. Owen, you have this sense of familiarity. And the air seems to vibrate around you with rhythmic pulse. And as you look around your once warm abode, you begin to hear the sound of cogs and metal. And then you turn, and the back half of the kitchen is gone, and there is a vast open wasteland behind you, full of broken machinery, bits, baubles, different things. You see a rusty cog in the sky that just slowly turns, and metal spires rise throughout this barren wasteland. You hear a voice, half mechanical, half human.
In the realm of shattered time, every spark holds a key.
These words dissolve into static, and the sound of a heartbeat merges with the ticking of a clock. The landscape around you seems to shudder and crack like fragile porcelain, ripping and tearing. You see what was once a blue sky over Goldwither become eerily purple and violet. You see the gear approach until it's within touching range, and then it just sits there and spins. What do you do? Owen.
So the monster says the things. So I'm gonna open my eyes and look around.
I mean, I described the things around you, friend. Like that entire sequence was built up for you to react to something. So all right. So I'll repeat. Currently, you are standing in the ruined kitchen of your old home abode where your grandmother raised you. The back half of your kitchen is exploded and gone. Behind you is a field of cracked porcelain and gears and spires. There is a single metal gear that is floating in the mass of destruction and everything in front of you.
Is there any like fields around the gear that I can observe?
Yes, the fields are like rotted and withering. The gear approaches and is within touching range and just hovers there in front of you.
Okay, so it looks like it's... Yeah. So I'm going to grab the gear and run out through the explosion.
Okay.
Like through the area that exploded.
All right. You reach out and you grab the gear. As your skin comes into contact with the gear, you hear that same voice. Half machine, half human.
In dreams, the truths we build dissolve into fragments. Each shard a memory. Each gear a revelation.
As your fingers clasp around the gear, you are jostled with start, and your hand is around your your mug of ale in the salty anchor. What would you like to do?
So I just like snap back and I've got my ale.
Yeah. Was it a flashback? Was it a vision? You're not quite sure.
And I'm not in Grandma's house right now.
No, you are in the salty anchor.
Okay, I'm gonna put down my ale and I'm gonna go pay and I'm gonna go to Grandma's house.
All right. Grandma's house is all the way in Goldwither. You are in Othmere. Goldwither is on the other side of Lukiel.
That's crazy. So I'm gonna go to the post office.
Okay. You attempt to find a letter courier or courier service. Make an investigation check for me.
Okay. My dice are stuck in the other mode.
Oh no. What'd you get?
Yeah. It would be a 7.
Oh.
Nah, that's I would probably have done that.
Okay.
9.
9. All right. So you end up walking out of the salty anchor and looking for a courier. It takes you quite a bit of time to find a small hovel of a hut that is near the outer edge of Othmere, towards the mainland, less towards the coastline. You see a individual there who is in tattered jacket. His pants have like different colored patches sewn into them. He looks well traveled, but he's got this like really closely shaved beard of gray, and his eyes say that they've seen quite a few winters. and you approach this individual, and he looks at you, and he says, "Are you needing the courier service?"
Yes, that's right.
And do you have the postage fee?
I'm sure I do.
That'll be 4 corp, please.
Is that the square ones or the round ones? I can never remember.
Them be the copper ones.
All right, I hand him 4 copper coins.
All right. You hand him 4 corp, and he looks down at them, jingles them, puts them in his pocket, and then he looks at you and he says, "Where to?"
So this message is going to Grandma McCrae in Goldwither.
All right. Grandma McCrae and Goldwither.
All right, and it should read, Grandma, I think something terrible has happened. Please reach out as soon as you can. With great haste. Signed, Owen.
All right. You hand him that letter, and he looks at you, and he says, "Bound for Goldwither, eh?
That's right.
I haven't been to that side of the country in a long time, but I'm sure I can make it there. I'll set out with Donovan's caravan in the next week, and I'll split off when they turn south towards the hill."
Next week? No, this message must go out immediately.
You mean to send me by my lonesome into the wilderness?
What about 6 copper?
You would have to give me 2 hours to go by myself.
Is that the gray one?
That be the gold one.
The gold one. I can never get these right. You know, they just.
Well, do you want the message delivered or not?
Well, I don't know if I would have that much money.
You
The
would.
golds are kind of rare, you said.
Yeah, no, you would not have an R
Yeah.
at all.
Okay.
There would be no one in the party with an R. Even Justicar. Justicar may have seen like 3 shin in his life.
Oh, well, I don't have R. Whatever.
Well then, sounds like you need to be patient. All the way from Goldwither, you say?
Yes, that's right.
How'd you make it here? If not by caravan?
Well, I took a kayak down a river for a lot of the ways.
You mean to tell me that you traveled along the Opaline River?
That's right.
without paying the fisherman's permit.
Well, that was a while ago now.
Best hope the Opaline Ward don't catch you doing any of those shenanigans.
Oh, we've talked.
Make a deception check.
Well, if we would, I'm sure it would go politely. Yeah. It's a 9.
It's a 9, he says. It's a 9. He looks at you and simply says, well, it's not any of my business, and I guess I'll take this when I can.
So does he seem to... I'm sorry, you said he did believe me?
He just kind of like gives you a nod. Neither one way or the other. Less like he's believing you and more like it doesn't matter one way or the other to him.
Okay. And then where does the warden normally reside?
The warden? You mean the magistrate?
Yes.
I mean,
One the same.
he's in his office.
Well, where is that normally?
I mean, you visited the magistrate earlier that day.
Okay. Guess I didn't realize that there was the same entity.
Yeah, the person in charge of Othmere is the magistrate.
Why warden? Okay, magistrate.
Yeah, why did warden come up, buddy? You giving me a lot of guff today. I don't know what's happening, bro. It's hurting.
Yeah, so I didn't lie. It's crazy. It's crazy talk. It wasn't deception. I did talk to him.
You didn't talk about the
He doesn't need to know that. I still talked to him. I didn't decept against that. Part of the craft.
Bro, that's why it didn't matter. He rolled a 1 anyway. He couldn't care less.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Connecting the dots from the start because the details matter.
Okay,
and
you've set a letter to go to Grandma in Goldweather.
Okay,
now what?
Let's get back to the bar.
All right. As you come back to the tavern, I will say this is the point where Justicar comes down from his room and is seated amongst his retinue, Chud and Aldrich and Jin. So everyone, well, no, Jin is upstairs. I'll cut to Jin here in a second so we can do his dream sequence or his... He had ended trying to reconnect with spirits, so we'll do that here in a second. But you walk back in, Owen, and you see your traveling companions in the tavern, in the throes of drinking and rest and eating. Do you approach and say anything?
Yes. So it's how's your drink, bud? I don't drink myself.
Who are you asking?
Well,
in Justicar. All right.
Okay, sorry, I wasn't sure if you were asking here.
Yeah, it's just I asked no one. How's the drink?
Well, you described him drinking there at the bar.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. There.
I look over. Owen, you left before I had a chance to talk to you a bit. But my drink is serviceable.
Huh.
Unfortunately, they didn't have any wine here.
Yeah, that'd have been all right, but I was just trying to get something that was not bad, essentially. Well, yeah, so this weird thing happened a second ago, but we'll see before I talk about it. I don't know.
I
It's weird.
stand up at the bar and usher him over to the table with the rest of the retinue.
All right. You sit down next to Igneus, your squire.
I give the boy the nod to pay attention to Reginald and what's the other one's name? I got it here. Victor.
Yep.
Owen, I have been meaning to ask, well now 2 questions, but what is your specialization?
Well, specializations are my specializations. So essentially, I can just go. I just do things.
It's required for the paperwork, you see. Get paid correctly for being a specialist under the employ of myself.
Well,
And I gesture to
don't
all
fight,
busy doing his whatever he's doing.
and I don't kill.
Those are interesting specialties. But I gesture to Aldrich. I go, like, he's an investigator, so that's his specialist. Pay.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't fight, you don't kill. What are you useful?
Field technician.
Can you elaborate slightly? Are you like an arcanist? Are you more...
So I look around. Is there any interesting features in the bar?
Make a perception check.
Like, say, maybe an open flame?
Well, you don't even need a perception check for that. There's a nice, serviceable sized fire in the hearth.
Okay. I asked the bartender for a candle.
The barmaid looks at you inquisitively. And what use do you have for a candle, sir?
Got a magic trick.
Well, now, what sort of magic requires you need a candle?
Well, with a shot of vodka and to get me loosened up a bit, I will be happy to show you.
Now, this isn't some ploy to get a free drink, is it?
Well, absolutely not, because I've got coin.
Well, alrighty, dearie. But this better be a good one. And she hands you a small little sconce from the wall that has a candle in it, and a small little bit of vodka in a cup.
Okay. All right. I'll
What do you do now?
So I presume the candle is not lit. So I'm
Correct.
gonna walk over to the fire, and I'm gonna do a twirl flourish and light the candle with the fire.
Ooh. Okay. Then
So, imagine, if you will, fire. Right?
okay.
So we use it in our everyday lives. Ordinary fire, right?
Several
Yeah.
But
Just nod, yes.
several members of the crowd have like quieted down from their conversations and are like turned and looked at you.
say you need, a little smoke, a little distraction. All you need to do is add a little bit of fuel, and I put the vodka in my mouth and I spritz it into the candle and make a big spritz of flame.
Ooh, okay. Make a performance check.
My character style doesn't die.
Love this.
So it's a 19.
Yep. Everyone is at first shocked and taken aback and like and then you hear rowdy, hearty cheers and clapping and much celebrations. Oh, and there are even a few corp thrown your way. You manage to get...
I do things.
You managed to get, all in all, 9 corp from that little performance and different little people tipping you.
All right.
Justicar, is that satisfactory to him?
I give the little closed fist and hand like patting of a clap, and okay, so that makes you a specialist for illicit means. Understood.
Not necessarily illicit means.
You mentioned distraction and throw a performance.
Yes.
It's similar to those who could open otherwise closed ways.
Yes.
So it's the polite way of saying that your specialty is unique.
If you're hinting at my morality, I would like to say that I'm not a thief.
I never claimed you to be one, because if you were, I would have to take a hand.
Well, then we are on the same side. Except
Exactly.
I cut not hands.
Right. We are on the same side. I just kind of like take a note, like Aldrich is an investigator. Owen is a specialist with quotes.
Love that. Love that. All right. Okay. While Owen is basking in kind of the cheers and clapping and celebrating the few citizens here in the tavern at the end of the day are very, very enthralled by, but their attention goes back to their business and other things. Our camera slowly pans back up to the room where Jin is, slowly meditating. Jin, I have a question for you. What specifically are you focusing in on when you activate your...
It was really just a sense of familiarity because of
that soup?
being in a strange place and drinking downstairs brought back those memories. He just wanted to just feel some comfort for a second.
All right, yes. Well, you focus in on that comfort, that familiarity, and are granted a brief vision of the Riftlands, a small moment of drinking from a cool spring in the middle of a forested section in the Riftlands. It is a pleasant memory that washes over you.
I think about trying to. I don't know. Trying to think of like the creatures there.
Okay.
That
Make a Arcana check for me, real quick.
that's a true 20. Whatever. That's a
Okay.
whatever. Like
Nat 20. Nat 20.
yeah, that's a nat. Yeah, I was right on the right there.
Beautiful. Wonderful. So, for Nat 20 Arcana check, you're focusing on creatures specifically from the Riftlands. And the thing that appears in your vision, it's like it's your hands, but it's not your hands in the vision of you drinking from this cool spring in the middle of this wooded area in the Riftlands. You hear rustling through the brush and the foliage in this vision. And it's like your body tenses up and you feel as if you're about to spring into action when a quick lunge out of a nearby bush towards you, a shadow, a split second of pain, and then a moment of stillness in which your eyes focus on a quadrupedal, bony, spindly creature with matted fur and sharp fangs that only jut out of its top jaw, as there is no bottom jaw at all. As it kind of bites down with its teeth in the top part, it just like bites down, slams to the ground, and just drags along the ground to do damage and kind of tear up the flesh of its prey. You are awakened from this nightmaric remembrance of a Riftland creature being eaten by a duskmaw.
That's not the kind of Susan I was looking for. I try to figure out why I was shown that dream.
Okay.
I do that. Can I ask it?
Yeah, you just kind of like reach in and ask the question like why, and you hear a voice come back. I'll keep that nat 20 Arcana so that connection is still there with the Riftlands. And you hear a warning. The Grey King aspires. Almost a echoing of that first vision that brought you to the Maki Vale.
You should beware of the Grey what?
The Grey King aspires.
The Grey King aspires.
Yeah.
Hmm. Alright. Well,
Do you join the rest of the party back downstairs?
yeah.
All right. Owen, you see Jen walk down the stairs, and he looks just a bit haggard. It's not overtly showing, but there's just like something has him a little ruffled. When he sits back down at the table with you.
Did you just have a thing?
Yeah. What do you mean, a thing?
Like you saw something, didn't you?
Yeah. Same thing I saw before or heard before I was thrusted into this realm. Said, beware the Grey King aspires. Does that mean anything to you?
No.
Justicar, make a history check for me.
I was getting ready to ask.
Yeah. I'll let Justicar make a history check. Oh, and that is correct. You would not have heard of this individual.
16.
A 16. There are ancient tomes and books within the temples of Araveth, the illuminated archivist. Those that worship Araveth are scholars, mages, seers. They have great ties to magic in the Riftlands and stuff. Several of them have a kind of what you would classify as a boogeyman type entity. Mostly you had thought this individual a folklore thing to frighten children to behave, sort of like how for I got so many notes that I gotta keep track of, guys. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. Sort of like how for Argavon has like an enemy that you're kind of like on the watch for. The worshippers of Araveth are on the watch for Nexvar, the Forbidden Whisperer. And another name for this individual is the Grey King.
Okay, and what did sorry, Jen, could you repeat what was told to you? The Grey King what?
Beware the Grey King aspires. That's it.
Interesting.
But yes.
The Grey King, do you know something about him?
It's sort of. It's complicated. It's more of a boogeyman, pale, maybe not so boogeyman-ish now. And then I convey the information that I remember.
Yeah.
It is interesting. That gives a lot more credence to other things. I look over to the Seneschal and I go, do you know if there's any of the followers of the Scholars God here?
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that there is a tower to the studies of Araveth here within Othmere. A wizard by the name of Valthrud tends to be the book's keepers. Would you like me to set a meeting, sir?
Setting a meeting wouldn't be necessary. I'll just spring a meeting upon him. Everybody loves when I just show up uninvited. What was the name of him? What was his name once more?
Valthrud the Wizened.
Thank you. And were you able to learn anything from the common folk?
Well, we have had time getting Chud's testimony into a discernible manner. He speaks oft in riddles, and it's hard to tell whether his injuries had affected his mind prior to your healing, or if there is something else afoot with him. However, the rest of the common folk seem to think and are under the belief, sir, that the curfew, the raised taxes, I mean, most of their labor is repairing the walls here of Othmere. The people are afeared to leave the walls at night, not simply because the curfew and the guards. There is something happening here.
I nod and I look over to Reginald and I go, Reginald, draft a letter for the magistrate and inform him that we will be doing some goodwill services of trying to purge the nearby area of various Duskborn life.
And would you like me to make specific note of anything in particular that we will investigate, or just perhaps a general goodwill help towards the town folk?
Will is, I think, the best course of action at the moment. There's a lot seeming to be going on here as I stare at Jin, and it would be against our duties to leave this place without fully dealing with at least the Duskborn threats. But I may have rubbed the magistrate the wrong way. So, it is a form of penance.
Yes, understood.
Can I check my past lives for more information on the king?
Sure. Make a history check.
Right. Oh, that was bad. Let me get a flat there. 15.
15. There is a moment, Owen, where you see Jen kind of focus and go still. As he does, there is this, like, vibrant green hue that runs along his arm and goes up to his head. It kind of pulsates there for a moment and then flows back to the arm. Jen, you feel the past life, like, acknowledge the request. It acknowledges that that information is housed. However, it is too traumatic at this particular moment for that past life to share with you.
Dramatic for the past life, or
Yes.
oh,
Like, you feel the information you seek is beyond this, like, wall of fear and trepidation, and then the life kind of flows back into the sea of consciousness.
can I try to pry further?
That's up to you. That is
I'll pry further.
all right. There is a moment of pain and anguish, and you feel a sense of loss as you are overwhelmed by a green energy. I need Justicar and Owen to make dexterity saving throws, please.
Oh no.
And I just rolled for the retinue. They did not roll good.
Wow.
16.
What'd you get, Justicar?
I got, let's see,
16 for Owen.
and 9 for Justicar.
9 for Justicar. Okay, Justicar, the retinue. Chud makes his save. As soon as he sees the green energy, he ducks under the table and like crawls out from between the party and like sprints to the other side of the tavern. Owen dives after him, just kind of like moving to the side and ducking behind one of the tables and booths. Justcar, the retinue, you are blasted back by a force. It doesn't, like, the force itself doesn't hurt you, but the impact to the ground does. Everyone in the party takes 2 points of damage except for Owen and Chud, who managed to get away. Since it was centered on you, Jen, you also take the 2 points of damage, but it's less like a physical bludgeoning force and more like you feel a part of yourself was ripped asunder so you could gain access to the knowledge. And you are flooded with a memory of an individual who stood up to the Grey King. He made it all the way into the fortress of torment in the Riftlands, where the Grey King rules. And a fight ensued, one that left the Grey King scarred as he was wounded in the battle with the individual of the past life. However, this individual's name is lost. Their identity is lost. Their personality is gone because you ripped them asunder to gain their knowledge.
That's the name of the game.
Yep.
And the cost of knowledge.
You kind of like say, man, the cost of knowledge to yourself, and you blink a couple of times, and you notice the drinks and food that were on your table are scattered across the room. Multiple people from their conversations have stopped and looked over towards you and the party to see what's going on. You see a individual in a cloak kind of obfuscated his face except for this like wry smile, and he just says,
Now that is some useful power that may be of protection to us out on the road. I might inquire with him.
and he goes back to his drink.
I check to see if is everybody okay. What happened? What just happened? Is everybody okay?
I hop up immediately and with Maul in hand, and I look with like fire in my eyes at Jin, and I stand down, Jin. Whatever you just did, stop doing it.
I was just trying to find information about the king, and so there's this thing that I can do. I can call for past lives that culminate and make up my body, and I can usually find information I need. And that's never happened to me before. I don't know what that was, but this memory had so much pain and anguish. But I just felt the matter was pressing, so I pried further, and well, I felt like a piece of me got ripped apart. But I did learn something about this king. This past life that I don't know the identity, and I don't think we ever will, because they think it's lost after this. But he was in a fight with this king and left him scarred. And all I know is whoever this king is, I think the message, whoever gave the message of beware, is on our side, and we need to figure out where this message comes from. Well, is it good? Because I don't know what side any of you guys are. I don't even know what side I'm on. I don't know what's happening. But I don't think we can trust this king guy. And I think we need to figure out who's giving me these visions. Because I think they're trying to warn of something dire. But I am sorry. I will never try to pry like that again.
Consult next time before doing something like that. And I pick up the rest of the retinue, and someone could have gotten seriously hurt.
The scribe is like going like, oh, my papers, as there is this like big ink blot that is like doused over several notes of his.
I requisition extra supplies from the Magister as well, and set a interview time for the secretary. Not tomorrow morning, but the morning after. I apologize, Reginald. It will to try your best to remember what those notes said and copy them over on another piece of paper, and I'll see about recompensing you for this.
Oh, don't you worry. I'll have all those notes back in time before you can say Argavon's judgment.
Ever dutiful. Thank you, Reginald.
And they were at a place called what was it? The Tower of Torment, or
The
what was
Fortress of Torment.
The Fortress of Torment. Does that ring a bell? Does that mean anything?
Does that? I don't think it would, but
Yeah, I don't know.
I will allow Justicar and Owen to make history checks with disadvantage.
not bad. 15.
Nice. What'd you get, Owen?
Um, 13.
All right. 13, Owen, you think Fortress of Torment. There was something Grandpa said a long time ago. It had something to do with the Riftland. And you can't quite ring a bell, but Fortress of Torment, it just it's something to do with the Riftland. Justicar. Fortress of Torment seems to be like a dark mirror to the Crystal Spire in Lukiel. So you're guessing that maybe this Fortress of Torment is the seat of power within the Riftlands.
Don't divulge any of that information.
All right. Keep that to yourself. And Owen, as you are thinking about this and contemplating it, you see the bartender approaching.
Now, I thought I mentioned for you all not to cause trouble in here, and I have quite a mess to clean up after you.
What mess?
She gestures to all the food and drinks that got spilled everywhere after the shockwave from Jin.
Oh,
I hold up my hand and I say, "Don't worry, we will handle this."
All right, you better.
that's what I meant.
See to it. I'll not be serving you any more drink until it's done. She goes back to the tavern section. She like stops by to make sure like all the customers are still okay and not too afraid. There were several individuals that seem to have skittered off and have left the tavern.
Did they leave anything behind?
Just several plates of food left unfinished. No coinage or anything that looks easily missed.
Yeah, okay. Can I use my magic to clean everything up real quick?
Yeah, sure. You cast prestidigitation and you just start cleaning that crap up.
Alright, good.
So, anyways, as we were saying,
Yes.
prestidigitation.
Wolfie, don't mind if I do for the leftovers.
And then I just, all right. I think before we retire for the night, we have a duty to attend to, at least slightly. I look over at the Seneschal and I go, "Old friend, please don't be upset by this, but we're gonna have to head out for the night."
What do you mean?
Well, it's a penance that we have to pay, and I'll unfortunately have to bother you with going out and gathering more information from the common folk tomorrow.
But, sir, you must understand that our visit here is one of quickness. We're not to tarry here in this town for too long.
Duty requires that we attend to the needs of the people. Justice must be done, and
I agree that we need to look out for the common folk here while we can, but, sir, if we are to make it back for the prelate to do his ceremony in Lukil, we must leave within the week.
I understand that, but the prelate will understand if we have to delay slightly.
He gives you a look of like, I don't know about that, but he acquiesces.
The prelate understands duty above all else, and he would understand the requirement of our duty here. Though we will not be able to take care of all of their problems, we can alleviate some of their problems at least.
Right.
Well, where will you go this eve?
I look over at the specialists, I go, well, we'll be taking a walk.
That sounds good.
Well, before we do, Jessica, you never did tell me what the terror place, if that meant anything to you. Do you have any information about that?
Well, I assume that just by the name, that it's not a good or lawful place. And by the name, again, it seems as though they don't value law and order, so closest place to hell, I would imagine.
Okay. There is not a. It's not a attractive name.
Not exactly something that we're well versed in, but I will certainly put Reginald on trying to scour up information.
He just gives you a look.
I give him the look of like, don't do that. Belay that order.
Okay.
This is all for face.
Yep.
Deception check.
I'll give you an insight check and then, a deception check for Justicar.
Insight?
Yeah,
Oh,
insight
insight.
for you. Let's see through.
13 plus 2, 15.
Alright.
I got a 13 altogether.
Well, Jin, he may know a little bit more than he's letting on, but you kind of don't blame him for not telling you everything. You did just cause like a small shockwave. Accidentally, but you still did.
But I was upfront about it.
That is true. That is true. That's something to note. That's something that you're like, this guy who's all about law and order sure ain't upfront and honest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we're gonna work out, we've got. But yeah, okay. I'll just note that.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, keep in mind, like 3 hours ago, he was ready to kill you from coming through the portal.
That is true.
Yeah, that is true.
That is fair.
But it's good to know that. You know what I'm saying? The time. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Be aware.
Do the three of you stand and begin to head out of the Salty Anchor?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Hey, look around and I'm like, well, I was hoping tonight was going to be an easy night. I look at Ignis and I go, help me get my armor on.
Right away, sir. And he rushes up the stairs before you to get ready to help you put your armor back on. That takes you.
It's just chainmail, which should take about less than 15 minutes.
Yeah. So
with help, it should take like 5.
Yeah, it doesn't take you too long, and then by the time the rest of the people have got their like packs and everything all ready to go out for the evening, you walk down the stairs, and the barmaid looks to you and says, "Well, sirs, you're not thinking of going outside at night, are you?"
Unfortunately, we are needed outside, especially tonight.
Well, but only those of the Opaline Ward are allowed outside during curfew.
I have a exception as well.
Ma'am, before we go, can I interest you in a deal?
A what?
What would you say to giving me a bottle of vodka?
What?
For a price.
Well, what for?
Well, I have my means that I may need, outside. You saw my abilities earlier.
Well,
So,
I don't want to waste vodka on you just blowing fire.
I'll bring back what I don't use.
Well, Make a
I put 5
persuasion.
corp on the table.
Right?
Make a persuasion with advantage now that there's
Bet.
5 corp added.
I wasn't gonna offer it for nothing.
Right. You just got to make sure now.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. What?
Uh-oh.
There's only 2 spectrums on these dice.
Yeah.
So it was something with advantage. So I'll roll a second. Okay, so it was a little bit lower. What was the roll type again?
It was persuasion.
Persuasion. So that's a plus Z. That's 19.
19. She looks at you and nervously seeing the armored Justicar and Jen looks intimidating ever since the explosion. She goes, I'll get one, but you better not be expecting anything top shelf.
Oh no, not of course not.
And she comes back with
Just your ruthiest, highest hitting, at least. Maybe not best tasting, but like, you know, like that lighter fluid vodka.
She comes back with a bottle of vodka and hands it to you.
I graciously take it from her.
All
With a
right.
slight bow.
Well, don't get yourselves in trouble. If you see any individuals of the Opaline Ward, just duck into an alleyway, hide.
I raise my hand. Like I said, we have an exception to the rule. And make sure none of my insignias or anything are visible.
Oh,
At
man.
the moment, like I got my cloak on over my armor,
Yeah.
hiding the fact that I'm a Justicar at the moment.
All right. And the 3 of you walk outside?
I look over at as we are outside, and I assume the roads are clear.
Yes, there are no one in sight. It looks like most people, if not all people, are in their homes. What homes you see are boarded up, their windows shut tight.
We go a little bit away from the tavern, and I look at Owen and Jen. I go, so we have 2-ish options.
Would they be?
Well, wonderful. You should ask, Jen. We can go outside the walls and try and deal with some of these more voracious foreign predators. Or we can start looking inside the walls for an echo.
What's more pressing?
They're both pressing in different ways. The echo has killed someone. The beasts are a nuisance and have also attacked people. Not to mention they devastate the ecosystem.
I think we should take care of the matter inside the walls first.
Mm-hmm.
The echo.
And you're not opposed to violence, are you, Jin?
I'll just say I ain't one for violence, but I'm not gonna get my butt whooped. Yeah, when it's needed. Yeah.
Willing to
I know a thing or
engage
two.
violence.
Well, I'll engage.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Owen, what are you going to be able to do in case of violence?
Well,
Well,
I can do something special.
Understood. And Jin, what is your specialty
magic,
aside from blowing up?
magic, the arcane.
All right. Well, at least my specialists are special.
You have that moment of like, at least my specialists are special, and then you begin to hear armored footsteps from down the street and see a bit of torchlight begin to head towards this street that you guys are on.
I gesture for Jin to go to one side and for Owen to go to the other side of the street and follow. And I walk towards the light.
Oh, okay. You...
Like right in the middle of the road.
Okay, so you're standing in the middle of the road, a cloaked figure with no insignia showing, no torch at night. The other two hiding off to the sides of the road.
Yeah, I'm supposed to draw the attention while keeping them safe.
Okay, Jin, Owen, make stealth checks with advantage. Advantage means roll the d20 twice and take the higher of the two.
Okay, well that's good. I got to roll it twice because that first one was butt. Oh no. Okay, I got 8.
8. All right.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Right, I got 18.
All right. Well, I'll just say this. The guard comes through an alleyway onto the street. The light perfectly illuminates Justicar. Jen, you are also illuminated by the torchlight. The guard expressly looks direct eye contact with Jen and Justicar. The guard does not acknowledge either of their existences, turns and walks down the street away from you both.
I can't detect magic.
You cast Detect Magic. There is no enchantment on this individual. He just rolled a 1.
I'm about to like make the whatever the code is for like well met guard or whatever, like the guards pass each other.
Yes.
And then he just turns away and like walks away, and I'm like, okay, never mind on that. Does he fit the description of? Sorry, give me 1 second. Notes. Jeff.
So it's hard to tell because they're all the Opaline Ward are in like heavy armor, and their features are obstructed. So it's hard to tell individuals within the Opaline Ward. You would have to like approach, remove his helmet.
Understood.
Oh.
What would you like to do, Jen? It sounded like you had an idea.
If I do veiled touch.
Veiled touch. What
Yeah,
one's
you
that?
can communicate telepathically with creatures 60 feet that has a language.
Okay, yeah. What do you communicate to this individual's mind?
So I have to communicate. I can't like pry in there.
Yeah, it's not like I'm digging for information. It's I communicate with you.
No, never mind then. But never mind.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay. You're learning your abilities. That's good.
Well,
So you like start reaching out with your mind, and then you go, on second thought, maybe not.
yeah.
I quietly whisper over to both of them, keep your eyes out for anything strange. And
That was kind of strange, was it not?
it was. It definitely was. I just kind of like do the sigh of like resignation, and I call out to the guard using the formal like, hey, one guard to another.
You reach out and say, well met and fine travels. And the guard turns and he raises his hand like he's about to do the response, and then he goes, hey, wait a second. And then he runs forward with his torch up to you and he goes, what are you doing out at night? Aren't you aware of the curfew?
I hold my hand up to my face with the shh, shh. All right, not so loud. We don't need to get everybody's attention. And I open my cloak to show the Justicar insignia. I go, I'm looking for someone.
Make a persuasion check to try and get this guard off of his curfew train of thought. Yeah, persuasion.
We have a 17.
Ooh. He looks like he was about to interrupt you and like give you the business of what are you doing here? And then as you kind of like show the glint of the insignia of the Justicars, you see his features go from like strong indignation of like, how dare someone break curfew on my watch, to, oh no, what have I done? I've poked my nose in a hornet's nest.
Calm down. Everything's fine. I've gotten permission from the Magister to assist in purging the dusk born from this area, and other various nasty things that haunt the night.
Well, to be honest, that's quite a boon. We have had our hands full. Most of us are stationed out by the docks, trying to keep the rift creatures of the waters at bay, whereas very few of us even patrol the streets at night anymore.
I just kind of like gesture for him to like get lower and like cover the torch so that light's not spilling out everywhere.
He does so, and like kind of like puts the torch really low in the middle of all of you, so the firelight casts your shadows along the buildings next to you all, almost like dark council members.
You are of the guard, so you would know better than, well, I didn't want to say better. You're going to be more honest about where you actually need help. The Magister was a little less than forthcoming on, well, an outsider offering help. But you seem more receptive.
Well,
Where do you need help?
Sir, the biggest concerns are, of course, the rift creatures invading our fishing waters and taking the supplies that most of the peasantry and even the fine folk of the Maki Vale need. One of our biggest exports is our fish, and without supplies, our economic outlook is rather dim.
I just nodded. Go. Understood. And of the surrounding area outside the walls, what kind of things go bump in the night?
Well, what things don't go bump in the night outside the walls, sir? I mean, everyone knows that outside the walls of a city is dangerous.
Right, something that would be pressing beyond, normal limitations.
Well, sir, I can't speak for everybody, but myself, I haven't seen anything outside the walls. I've only heard tales of strange creatures, such as a puppy with an extra eye, but that was some poor beggar.
Understood. I also heard that there was a person of interest amongst the Opaline Guard, a Jeff. Jeff.
Hydrate, everybody. Take a little swig of water. That high quality H2O.
I look around real quick and I make sure nobody else is sneaking up on us. I go, Jeff. Radius? Radiatus. I have it. I just don't know how to say it.
Yeah. Think radiates, but then Roman official.
Right. Radiatus.
Yes. He was one of the new recruits from the last caravan that Donovan brought from Lukill. He was rather quiet, reserved. Do you know Jeff?
Well, I know his family.
Oh. He seemed rather troubled about the strains of his family's house back home. Apparently, it's being... well, they're having their assets repossessed.
I have not heard that. That is odd. But I heard that he was a person of note that needed to be... I put my hands up like placatingly. Not interrogated, but I heard that he had some misfortunes with a beggar.
Well, if you have any questions for him, I'm sure you can find him either at the barracks or in his streetly patrol. He is actually stationed closest to the gate and the walls. If you would like, I can take you over to his patrol grounds.
Oh no, I've kept you from your duties too long as is. But I thank you for your help, and I will go see him and I gesture to where he gestured to. I will go see him. Thank you for your help, though, sir. And I will be sure to focus my efforts on trying to rid the rift beasts of the water.
Okay. And, if you do head down to the docks, just be sure to tell, Brother Albert that the spears that they are requesting, are almost done and will be shipped down to the docks tomorrow morning.
Will do. Sorry, I had to write that down.
No, you're good. You're good.
And then, back to your patrols. Safe watch.
Of course,
Keep
sir.
your eyes open.
And he kind of like bows his head a little bit. He waits for you all to kind of like dissipate into the shadows again before picking up his torch and heading back.
I gesture for Owen and Jin take back your positions and let's move forward.
All right.
All right, indeed. You begin to make your way through the darkened streets of Othmere at night. The echoes of human shouts as well as beastly cries from the docks and closer to the port area of Othmere can be heard. But as you guys are heading towards the wall and gate area, those sounds are getting further and further away. You hear the sound of heavy footfalls of a patrolling individual, like around the corner. No torchlight, but you hear it.
The moment that there's no torchlight coming, just I stop and I do the fist up to stop. And I just kind of like stand in the middle of the road, like as tall as I can, and just as broad and menacing as possible.
All right. You stand broad, menacing. The individuals to your back, Owen and Jen, what are you all doing? As he like holds his hand up for like stop.
So I'm next to a wall, right?
Yes.
I'm just gonna crouch down next to it
Okay. Just
and lean
crouch
against
low.
the wall so I don't fall. And because I assume it's made out of stone, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely lean against it.
Jen, what would you like to do?
I cast light.
You cast light. Light can be centered on an item or like cast at a point and then like radiate in a location. Which would you like to do?
I cast it in the middle waypoint between the both of us.
Okay, so kind of like lighting up the middle of the street.
Yeah, just get a good look at them before they can get too close. Because we don't know who they are, right?
Correct. You have no idea who is making the sounds of heavy footfalls. It's currently up and to the right. You can't quite see the individual there beyond a building.
Yeah, so that way it's not really illuminating us. We're still in the shadows, but like, oh shoot, are they walking towards us?
Currently the footfalls were they weren't getting closer, but they weren't going further away. It was kind of like walking back and forth along
Okay, then I just cast it where I think the footfalls are coming from. Yeah.
Okay. You cast light. There is this cone of light that blasts down the side street ahead of where Justicar has stopped and where both of you are kind of off to the sides of the street.
What do we see?
You don't see anything yet. The first sense that is assailed first is your ears, as all three of you hear this gut-tensing ear-shrilling, piercing wail and cry as a scream echoes out into the night, and you hear this rapid movement of metal scraping against stone and pavement and ground as something is sprinting towards the street that you guys are on, where the light is coming from.
I'm going to assume that was not a human scream. And so I'm going to put the maul away and grab the sword.
All right.
Maul on back, sword out of sheath.
You pull up the sword just in time as a clawed, gauntleted hand grips around the side of the building, a head down to the right, and from behind that building, rushing out, skidding to a stop on all fours, almost like this frenzied, feral, metallic dog, is a member of the Opaline Ward. But the light catches, and it seems like there is an eerie, toothy grin etched into the metal as it looks up towards you all. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
I have a question before we're done.
Okay.
Just because I remember you mentioning the echo last time, and I can't remember. Is the echo a bad thing, or is it an okay thing? It seems bad.
So chimeric echoes are pretty bad. They're pretty bad things.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure, because you mentioned something about Lukiel, and I was like, I thought this was a bad thing, but if it's a good thing, I don't want to attack it.
All right, no, it is very much behaving non-human and non-okay.
Okay, just verifying.
That's right,
Also-
Stilt Skin. 100% looking forward to dropping into that next week.
Also, I do have a bookkeeping question.
No, okay, yeah.
The second question is, so I did all the gold things for the backstory and the class.
Okay.
What would I transfer that into money-wise from gold to less gold?
Okay, so just know that if it ever says gold, think silver instead. And if it mentions silver, think copper instead. And if it mentions copper, it is erased.
Okay. Just wanted to double check, because you said that I have not seen gold, and I was like, okay, well, in that case, these numbers don't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, Justicar may have heard of like a trade happen with an R, but like it's so rare that gold is traded or anything. It's like if people get a hold of a gold piece, they get a hold of that. That's generational wealth.
Okay. I just wanted to double check, because I was just like, all right, I don't want to just be sitting here with 34 base gold.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no, Bro broke the economy with 34
I'm just sitting
gold.
here like, this isn't right.
No, it's all good. It's all good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the second episode of the Six Sword Saga Source Code, the prequel season to a 9-year storyline and campaign. The perfect jumping off point for all new viewers. Thank you so much for tuning in to Midwest Dungeon Delvers. It's such a blessing to have you here, of course. And, of course, I gotta ask my 3 questions that I ask all the time. First of my players, and then you, the audience. What was good? What was bad? What needs improvement? Players.
Well, I mean, The good was a lot. Like the characters were good, the flow was good, information delivery was good. I don't really think there was any area of bad or improvement required. At least not tonight.
No.
You did cool voices. You gave backstory. You gave detailed information about the world. All things happened.
Yeah, it was pretty. Had a blast. It was fun. Yeah.
Noise. Owen, any remarks?
I No, not really.
No.
It's all we just be good. Unless slight things happen, but magic.
Magic, he says. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in to Midwest Dungeon Delvers once again. It is such a blessing to have you all tune in to the Six Sword Saga, and I hope you will be just as blessed by the telling of the story. Now, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget Saturdays. It's the Super Smash Quest in the evening until it becomes a new arc and a new day is picked. Have a good night, everybody, and don't forget that.
Good evening. This is Lyris Dane reporting on behalf of the COS as we witness yet another harrowing chapter in humanity's relentless pursuit of forbidden innovation in the year 2525. In what has been dubbed the Six Sword Saga incident, 6 carefully chosen individuals from the Maxwell Federation's latest VR experiment were thrust into the full immersion simulation known as the Six Sword Saga, a digital realm where the lines between myth and machine blur. What began as a promising trial for the next generation of escapism quickly spiraled into an unsolvable tragedy. Our sources confirm that the participants heralded as pioneers of this radical technology have become permanently entrapped within the simulation.
Six Sword Saga!